wrong with your setup, I guess.
All right. Well, I guess just go.
Yeah, I don't have them either.
Yeah. I guess if you both want to answer it at the same time, then I guess we'll just determine which one of you goes first, and accidentally talk over one another.
So I'll just.
Well, whichever. Let me
Alright.
know.
But yeah, so going back to the question, I guess, at the start of the match, before the event actually happened, it was believed that the flank would be the key to Bloodbath's victory. Is that still the belief after having played the match? I guess I'll ask Soso first.
Uh, I would say actually no, because funny enough, that team was good enough to watch the flanks, so a lot of our breakthroughs actually came through going hey diddle diddle straight up the middle. So ironically enough, it was the center that won us the day.
Alrighty, and then Old Boy, what do you think? What's your key to victory?
I think the flank was definitely important, but like Soso said, there were some maps, especially like Mamiev, where the team met almost no resistance on the center, so we just pushed kind of unimpeded through it. I think maybe the biggest thing that helped when we were having trouble pushing up was we had a nice wide battle line for a lot of those maps, especially on Winterwald. Like Winterwald was wonderful because of how evenly spread out and how coordinated we were in our advancing. But as far as the flanks go, I think Soso's right. It was not paramount to our victory.
Alrighty. And then, what do you think was your biggest disadvantage in this match? I believe that the last when I asked Soso originally, he said that his biggest disadvantage, he think, would be having trouble keeping his composure as TL. Do you think that was still the case during the match? I guess we start with Old Boy since you just went.
Um, Biggest disadvantage. I'm not sure. There were times where I felt like my biggest disadvantages as a team leader, I couldn't keep pace with how quickly the team was advancing. So I felt as though I was not being an effectual team leader because the team was performing well without me, which is a good problem to have, I guess.
Alrighty. And
Hey.
how about you, Soso?
Well, I couldn't quite hear what Old Boy's reply was, so I assume he said nothing but glowing things. But the only point I think I got really, let's say, was when we were in E on Red October Factory, and it was like a hair, like a single hair before we lost that cap, and our team was able to pull through and hold it. And after that, it was like smooth sailing.
Yeah, I was watching that, and it was very, very close. I even commented on that holding that and like pushing back that first wave of attackers that got into Echo was what won you guys that match. Because they were even getting to the second floor at that point. They pretty much had half the building before you guys pushed them out.
Oh yeah, like I remember like getting in there right after we lost the cap before, and there was already two or three guys in there, and our team was still falling back. So they tried to rush it, and they almost had it, man. I mean, had they broke through there, there's no way we would have won that match, and who knows what would have happened after that. But holding that was critical.
Alrighty. And do you think that you would be interested in doing an event like this again? I think I
Oh,
know your answers,
absolutely.
but
Yeah, yeah. Sign me up for each and every one, and RS and Red Orchestra 2 and Red Orchestra 1 and Red Storm or Rising Storm 2. Whichever. I'm up for them.
I would absolutely agree. I think anytime, anywhere, this was a fun event. Although I think playing against the right people is very important, and the second RD guys were very good opponents for us for this kind of event.
alright. And what do you guys think was the major turning point in the match? I guess we can start with Soso for this one.
Well, there were two, I think. The push on Commissar's house, that one was a turn against us. So that one kind of hurt. But once they attacked us at Red Oktoberfest, like I said earlier, that pointed E, that single bombed out house. If it wasn't for that magnificent defense of our team, I don't know how well we would have done campaign wise, but we won it and we fought hard for it. So yeah, that was the point where everything came in our favor.
I No, by and large, I agree with Soso. I think the turning point for the campaign would have been E at Red October Factory, but I was suspicious at the very beginning of the campaign when they attacked Station first and were unable to get past Bravo, because that is a brutal, brutal territory and map to attack. And the amount of momentum they needed to bowl over us, they just did not have. So that was very telling for me.
Alrighty. Kind of going off that note. What do you think what do you think are things you would want to try and improve on, either as players or as a team, before the next time you do one of these events? Well, I guess we'll start with you.
As a team, I think we worked pretty well together, especially on those first couple maps. We were just kind of feeling out how things were going throughout the game. Um, I think a little more flexibility among squad leaders, a little of the organization beforehand would be good. But besides that, I think we did pretty well overall in the setup in terms of team play.
Alrighty, and then Soso.
Definitely the first thing I think I should improve on is getting a solid connection and a toaster that doesn't crash every 5 seconds. But other than that, I would say I would work on the timing of Artie. That would probably be the only thing I would need to improve on. And as for the team, our team did so well. I couldn't speak higher of them. I really can't think of anything I'd tell them to improve. Everyone played their roles as they should. They listened to orders. They gave sometimes better orders than I gave, and we all pulled through together. It was fantastic.
Alrighty, and then I guess less general. Oh no, we got one more from a viewer here. How do you think communication went on your team, just in general, between SLs and their squad members and SLs and TLs? So I guess we'll start with you.
I couldn't ask us to speak any clearer or better. I mean, everyone knew what to do. They didn't spam, which was very important. I hate when that happens. But they pointed out where tanks were, where the enemy was at, where they got through. They gave us openings. They really just communicated as they should. Had World War II had personal radio sets, I think it might have turned out a little quicker because we worked out fantastic.
Alrighty, and old boy.
Yeah, communication was fantastic all the way through, both within squads. When I was squad leader 4, my squad was communicative. They listened to orders really well, and as a team leader, I always knew where everybody was. Like I said earlier, it was a perfect scenario as far as squad leads and team leading went.
Alrighty, and then I guess last question: how do you think that your faction determined or influenced your general strategy or tactics during the match, playing as the Russians instead of the Germans? Olba, we'll start with you.
For as much as we were on offense, I was really worried about being Russians because we had good assault weapons, but German MGs are an unholy terror no matter where you're playing. I thought that was going to have a bigger influence on us, but it turned out not to make much of a difference. The MGs hung us up a couple on the longer maps, especially on Mishkova, but in general, I think our weapons, I think the teamwork overcame the weapon disadvantage, what I would call a weapon disadvantage, because I think Axis have better weapons overall. The T-34, however, was a huge asset in our favor, and Ask for Trouble just killed it every time. So did Mr. Death a few times he was tanker.
Yeah, they definitely did do good work. All right, what about you, Soso?
Well, I'd have to say that, for the most part, we were able to rush and keep the momentum. So the team, or the faction rather, didn't really have too much of an impact until really the tank missions. But it wasn't until that very last mission at Mishkova with those MG42s just mowing down our team all day, every day, that I really got concerned. I mean, I was pressing T like every 5 seconds, sweating about those tickets. So having to adjust to those German MGs, that really played a big part in how quickly we were able to advance on that last map. That's why it got down to 0 tickets both sides overtime. So.
Yeah, that was pretty close. It was even more intense in my mind when your guys' T-34 got knocked out there at the very end.
Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Once that happened, I thought it was all over. I thought that was the end of this match, but we were able to pull through with Smoke and Artie. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Does anyone know if Ashen is using the? Okay, no, never mind. I didn't know if he was using the mobile or like.
I turned on use voice actively. So
Okay.
second Rangers are here now.
I
Alrighty,
do have
cool.
I have one question though. Can you send me a link to? Do you do like a save of the stream? Do you have it uploaded somewhere?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll be uploading a like a selected, like not really selected footage, but like I'll upload the clip of the stream or like the entire stream because we're almost actually at my cutoff time right now of like to media once I get that kind of set up and done. So I'll post that here and I'll post it or send it to whoever else wants it so they can spread it around. Then I'll probably also, if I can get it worked out with Blood, post it possibly to the YouTube channel for the community as well, so anyone there can watch it, and Reddit will probably see it as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll definitely want to check that out.
Alrighty. Well, if I guess that's all the questions I have for you two, and we can probably go ahead and switch over to the second Rangers Battalion now, since they're here now. And I believe we are talking to Sergeant Saunders and Ashen. I'm not sure of your rank in your clan there.
Second lieutenant.
Second Lieutenant. All right. So, just some quick questions, or kind of like an interview thing, I guess, after the match. So, you had said initially, or Saunders had told me initially, that he believed that. Now, and also when I ask these questions, you guys can answer them, together, or if you just want to let one of you take over it, whatever, that's totally fine. It's kind of off the cuff stuff, but Saunders believed that your guys' key to doing well in the match would be teamwork and communication. Do you think that those definitely still played a vital role in the match, or what do you think really contributed the most to your efforts today?
No, I would agree with what Saunders said initially. When it came down to it, we had the communication, we just were a little slow at reacting to what we needed to. This is kind of the first time we've ever done a large-scale 32 on 32 engagement, so I'm really happy with what we were able to accomplish, and think we've kind of found some things we could improve on, but we're definitely interested in trying to get another one of these scenarios set up with you guys again.
Alrighty. And Saunders, what did you think when you were playing?
It definitely came down to communication and teamwork for sure. As the lieutenant described, it did get a little bit slower for sure on the reaction time. We could definitely tell that the opposing side, you guys tonight, were definitely communicating. We felt it right away. So even initially, it came down to, as I had stated before, whichever side has the best teamwork and communication.
Alrighty. And so, when you were playing, I guess I asked this of the other guys as well for the Bloodbath side. Do you think the faction that you guys wound up playing as, the Germans, had any major influence on your strategy or tactics for the event? I know that Saunders had said that you would generally try and use the long-range firepower of the Germans to your advantage while you were playing as them. Do you think that was true when you were actually playing, or how do you think things went?
I think we initially set up that sort of strategy, but it was quickly overwhelmed with the Russians just getting up close and personal without us having the time to actually get set up. So they definitely kept us off balance, and that kind of just forced us to be in some uncomfortable scenarios.
Alrighty. And Saunders, do you think that also was true as well, or do you have a different opinion?
I think it's just reaction time at this point. Russian factions are completely CQC, whereas Germans are long ranged. So that had a major deal as to how we reacted, and it threw us off balance. And y'all kept us off balance the entirety of the campaign. So good job to you guys for sure.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Next question, I guess, was how do you think communication went for you guys on your team? Just between, the people that were playing on your team just throughout the entire match.
Overall, I think it was pretty solid. We used, I guess, TeamSpeak as well, so we had each squad kind of broken down there so they could communicate with themselves initially, and we kind of created a hierarchy to where the leaders of those could communicate in the in-game chat, just to keep the comms a little clearer. But for the most part, we knew what was going on. Again, the problem was getting set up and reacting to it in time.
Alrighty. And then, what, in your guys' general opinion, do you think was the turning point of the match? I certainly have my own opinion on what one major one was, but what did you guys think when you were playing and had your boots on the ground?
Honestly, I think we messed up from the very beginning with that failed assault on station. You know, just put us on the defensive, and we couldn't seem to kind of get in step with each other. So that first defeat, it took us a little while to pull ourselves together after that.
Alrighty. Would you say that you had the same experience, Saunders?
For sure. One thing that we focus on and pride ourselves on is communication. That's one thing. Even I, as a squad leader in drills, we push learning to do communications. So everybody knew what was going on, and it was the reaction
I will
time.
definitely ask that.
And we messed up with the first map that we attacked. Threw us off balance, and we couldn't recover from it. So that would be where I would put it as well. That most of us are on the same page as well. Even when we were in debrief just a few moments ago, it was more or less, okay, what went wrong? What do we need to improve on? And that's what this was for. It's to see where we're at, have a good competitive gameplay as well, and also help strengthen relations within the community of Red Orchestra 2 as well, between Bloodbath and the 2nd Rangers Battalion.
Alrighty, and I also have a question from the audience here on my stream. Why did you guys choose to attack Station, a very difficult map, at the very beginning of the match? What was your thought process behind that?
If I'm being completely honest, we wouldn't have voted for that, but some of the other members decided to vote without consensus of everyone in charge of actually making decisions. So I guess that could be the initial failure of our communication. It kind of caught us off guard when we didn't realize we were going to be voting to make the first action of the campaign, so we'll definitely try and get that down.
Alrighty, and then also kind of going along with that, what was your reasoning for choosing Germans when you won the coin toss, so to say, for that bolt action battle?
I guess we initially thought we had a stronger mid to long range game, so we tried to play on our strength there. Unfortunately, the Russians just were able to rush into our lines and kind of shuffle up our players, so we tried to do what we could.
Alrighty, and I believe I've asked basically everything I wanted to, except for, would you guys be interested in doing this in the future, which I think one of you already answered your opinion on.
Oh, of course. I think it was unanimous.
Slammer, do you know how many people were watching your...
Continue.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I gotcha. No, it was unanimous. Everyone that showed up on our side was asking to do it again and really enjoyed tonight. So we're definitely looking to set something up like this in the near future.
Alrighty, well, cool. Thank you guys for taking the time to answer my questions and do the scrimmage as well. It was fun watching, and I know the guys here in Bloodbath enjoyed playing it.
Hey, I just wanted to say to the enemy, y'all are the team leaders, right? Or the main guys, head honchos?
Some of them, yeah. What's up?
I think y'all did fantastic. Honestly, some of the hardest teams I've had to fight in a while. Y'all played really well. It was a pleasure to fight y'all, honestly. Really made us, like, this is the first time I really had to use genuine strategy and tactics instead of just, running forward, calling Artie. So good job, guys. Well done.
Awesome, and likewise to you, worthy opponents.
Yeah, next time you want a rematch, just let us know.
Yeah, we'll try and get something set up pretty soon, I think.
We definitely enjoyed it. Even most of our players, the most complaints we had was, I keep getting killed at 170 meters and I have no idea where I'm getting shot on. This is fun.
Welcome to Bloodbath.
Oh yeah, man, that's the game. That's what makes
brutal.
R2 fun, dude.
Yeah.
And I also have one last question here, I think, from the chat. They call me, I'll cover this one. What do you guys think is something you're going to have to improve on the most before we go and do another scrimmage like this? Or what would you try and change or modify if we were going to face each other again sometime soon?
I think just trying to get our teammates familiar with maps would be one of our biggest things we need to work on. I know we threw in a couple custom maps tonight, and some of our members weren't familiar with them, and we just didn't have the confidence we needed to get where we needed to be. So we'll definitely do our homework a little more.
Alrighty, cool. And I guess that's it for me. I don't see any other questions in chat, and I can't think of any, so yeah, thank you again.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Thanks for having us. It was enjoyable.
Cheers.
And
This was